Well, hi, it's Peter Irvine. We're continuing our series from each book of the Bible where we connect life to business, to family and to work. And the next book is Ecclesiastes, and video 1 is titled, Is Everything Meaningless? And in fact, in chapter 1, it actually comes out and says, everything is meaningless. And this is King Solomon, when going back earlier, when God says, I'll give you anything you ask. And he said, I want wisdom to be able to manage and lead the people well. And God said, I'll give you that, but because you didn't ask for wealth and large armies and everything, I'll give you everything as well. And he became one of the wealthiest people of all time. But God had a bit of a warning with this, and he said, now make sure you don't marry women from foreign nations, because they'll bring their gods and they'll turn you away, turn your heart away from me. And you may not be aware, and some do, that he eventually had 600 wives and 400 concubines. Now that's a lot of women to please, and back in those days they married multiple times, which is not allowed today. But Solomon was wise and wealthy, way beyond your imagination, and he had everything. But he gets to the stage in this book, he says, what is life? It seems meaningless. And in fact, he had a table he could look at full of everything, every food, everything you could have. And he says, what is life? And in the last chapter, after he goes through this whole thing about what is life, in chapter 12, verse 13, he says, here is my final conclusion. Fear God and obey him and his commands, for this is everyone's duty. He said, in the end, despite all this, put aside all these things. We've got to fear God, we've got to honour him and follow him. And it's in chapter 3, verse 11, it's God, he says, who has set eternity in our hearts. So God knows us, and he's put the plan in place from beginning to end. And in the end, when it finishes, you can't take any of it with you. And we've got to be good stewards of how we use that wisdom and how we use the things that we're given in this life. And there's really 3 distinct messages in this whole book of Ecclesiastes. Number 1 is, life may seem meaningless and pointless, and you do get to that stage in life when you've been around long enough with the things that might come against you and the people you've got to put up with and where we think the world's going. And secondly, it challenges that life is to be enjoyed, not endured. Jesus said, I came to have life, to give you life and have to the fullest. And so life is to be enjoyed to the fullest, and it's a gift from God. We just got to learn how to manage and use it properly. And the third thing is, a wise person will live their lives according to God's desires and God's plan. So let me challenge you, do you seek a life or a business career with a total disregard to God and just go your own way into the whims of your own desires of what poor influence of friends or social media may be? Or do we see as everything is meaningless when Jesus promised he came to have life, we could have life and have it to the fullest?